Namaste yogis and welcome to our chair yoga session. So when practicing chair yoga, very simple, very basic moves are involved, and today we're going to focus primarily on the lower half of the body. So we're going to be working with the quads, strengthening the core area as well as stretching out your hamstrings, calves and Achilles heel. Now when working with a chair, we want to sit on a chair that has no arms. If you are in a wheelchair or in a situation where you're unable to sit in a chair with no arms, there will be a little bit more restriction, but please, there are some postures you can definitely do. So we're going to focus today on all forward motions. If we do have time, we can do a side-to-side motion as well, but we're going to focus primarily on this area. So when we start, we want to keep our body nice and strong as we can manage. So scoot a little bit forward on your chair. If you can sit on the edge of your chair, that's most ideal, but sit in a position that you can feel where your butt is actually feeling quite comfortable. If you can even pull the flesh out of the buttocks as well, and that will also help to give you just a little bit more stability and some balance. Now, let's focus on our feet. Keeping your feet parallel to each other, approximately sort of hip width apart. Keep your feet nice and firm, nice and flat. Your knees should be as close to 90 degrees as you can manage, and then keep your posture upright. So engage your core, shoulders drawn back, butt relaxed, and place your hands on your knees. Now, sitting upright is an exercise in itself already. Sometimes if your shoulders are quite hunched, or if you're suffering with a bit of a weak core, or even if your quads are a little bit weak, this position could be a little bit uncomfortable, but persevere. Trust me, it does get easier over time. So, sit up nice and tall, shoulders back, close your eyes, and let's breathe. Place one hand over your belly button, and one hand over your chest. And as you breathe, you want to try to keep the chest as still as you can, breathing into your belly breathing. Breathing through your nose and out the mouth. In through the nose, out the mouth. And again, in through the nose and out. Relax. Now let's begin. We start with our toes. Lift the toes, flatten the feet, lift your heels. Lift your toes and heels. 3 toes and heels. 4 toes, heels. 5 toes, heels. 6 toes and heels. 7 toes and heels. 8 toes and heels. 9 toes and heels. And last one, 10 toes and heels. And relax. Now extend your right leg in front of you. Now here, we want to tighten the quad as much as possible. Flex the foot so that the toes point straight up. And draw your toes toward you. Imagine you want to curl the toes right back, and you want your toes to come back toward your knee. Now here, you're going to feel a really nice strain on the quad, but also beautiful stretch on your hamstring, behind your knee, the calf, the Achilles heel. Beautiful, gentle stretch on the body. If you're struggling and you want to take it a little bit further, you can use a scarf. Wrap the scarf around your foot and just gently tug on the scarf, pulling your foot towards you, keeping your heel flat on the ground. Now, in this position, you don't want to allow your elbows to flare out. Tuck your elbows in and curl in, almost like a bicep curl. Pull and stretch, keeping your thigh nice and tight. And let's release. Move to the other side. Let's first stretch without the scarf, keeping the heel flat on the ground, posture upright, nice and tall. We can take it a little bit further if you want to, and stretch. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm filming this from my studio at home. My son is doing some homeschooling, and my husband is working from home. We have a whole zoo of animals, so during the series of videos, you're probably going to hear a little bit of background noise. Unfortunately, I can't get away from that. But I hope that you're able to enjoy this in a space that's comfortable and quiet at home as well. And let's release. Okay, now let's focus on the feet again. So keeping the posture upright, feet approximately shoulder width, well, hip width apart, hands on your knees, and push your feet down into the floor. Imagine you wanted to push the floor away from you. Here you're going to feel your core engage. You're going to feel the quads engage and push. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, release. Right leg. We're going to lift the right foot and place the right foot on top of your left knee. With your right hand, place the right hand on the right knee and just gently bounce downwards. Here we're starting with our hip opening, and we want to open up the hip as much as we possibly can. Now this is called a figure 4 shape, and you know, if your hips are quite tight, it's going to be quite difficult to draw the knee down very low. It doesn't have to go down so far. If your leg is only up here, that's perfectly fine. Just gently start pushing it down and give it time. Over time, it will slowly start drawing down. Now remember, in any yoga practice, you shouldn't be feeling any discomfort or pain. You should feel the stretch, but if it's painful, it means you're pushing it too far. So rather take it more gently and take a little bit longer to get into that stretch as opposed to actually hurting yourself. Let's stop the motion, and with your hands, interlock your hands around your right hamstring and lift your leg, pull your leg up toward the chest. Now here, often the elbows want to flare out. Again, tuck the elbows right in. If you feel this is a little bit too challenging, you can bring your hands in front of your knee, in front of the shin, and lift the knee up toward your chest. You are going to feel a much greater stretch in this position. Breathe. And let's release. Moving to the other side, left leg on top of your right leg. Into your figure 4 position, keep your posture upright. Place the left hand on your knee and gently bounce. Now stop the motion, interlock your hands behind your left thigh and draw the knee toward your chest. If you want to take it a little bit further, bring the hands in front of the shin. Keeping the posture as upright as you can manage, keep your foot quite relaxed. And breathe. And let's release. Okay, let's bounce. Now for our final movement for today, we're going to do the chair warrior position. So we're going to start with the right hand side. So bring the right leg over. Your left leg is slowly going to go behind you, and you're going to walk back just a little bit on the chair so that your right hamstring is completely supported on the chair. But here in this position, you want your right foot to be flat on the ground. So try not to engage or use a chair that is a little bit too high. Try and find a chair where with the back of your knee on the edge of the chair like this, you want your foot to be flat on the ground. Leg behind you, your foot is going to go as flat as you can possibly imagine, or as flat as you can manage. This left leg, nice and straight, keeping this area as strong as you can manage. Place both hands on top of your right thigh and turn your upper body. And the idea here is to try to get your shoulders and your hips sort of in a straight line facing that right knee. Hold it there. Posture upright, shoulders back. Breathe. Now breathe in, stretch your arms up into the warrior one position. And we're going to reach up as tall as you possibly can. Imagine you're as light as a feather and you want to reach up toward the heavens. Deep breath in and out, warrior two. So your right arm goes in front, your left arm goes behind you. Open that left shoulder as much as you possibly can. And remember, we're not looking for perfection. If bringing your hand down is easier for you, then that's also perfectly fine. Reverse warrior, placing your left hand on your left hamstring. We're going to slowly slide your hand down, lift your right arm, look up. And let's bring it back up into the warrior two position. Warrior one. And bring your hands down again. Now to come out of the position, we're going to bend the left knee and slowly walk your leg back to the space in front of you. And then bring your right leg in front. Let's do the same thing on the other side. We're going to take the left leg over. Right leg is going to go behind you. We're going to scoot back just a little bit on your chair. And make sure that your left hamstring is completely supported. Right leg behind you, straighten out that right leg as much as you can possibly, as much as you can manage. Now, turn your upper body, okay? Place both hands on top of your left thigh. Keeping your posture nice and strong. Breathe. Moving into warrior one, breathe in, arms up. Reach up as tall as you can. Imagine you're as light as a feather. Breathe in and out, coming down into warrior two. So this time your left arm is in front and your right arm is going behind you. And again, it doesn't have to be this high. You can bring your hand down a little bit lower if you feel it's more comfortable. Now let's move down into reverse warrior. So your right hand goes on your back leg. Slowly slide your hand down. Lean back, arm up. Look up toward the ceiling. You can bend your right knee a little bit if you want to, but if you can, keep it straight, keep it strong. And then let's release. Bring it back up into warrior two. Breathe in into warrior one. Reach up nice and tall. And then release. Bend your right knee, slowly bring your right leg back. And let's move back to our central position. Now we're going to finish off our practice, keeping your feet flat on the ground, posture straight up, palms together. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in through the nose and out your mouth. Thank you.